Hello, everyone. Welcome to the No One Cares podcast. We are your hosts, Alina, Alex, and Lexi. We talk all things marketing, social media, pop culture, and news, and everything that has to do with TikTok, Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Today, no one cares about Alicia, but we do. So we have an awesome guest today. Just a quick shout out. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy Scorpio season. My fellow water sign. Alex is a Virgo, but she's also a water sign.
I have no water in my chart, but I found out that my midhaven is Cancer, and my north node is Cancer and my south node is Scorpio, and those are supposed to be like my purpose in life, and those are water signs. Everything else is earth and fire, so that makes sense. My purpose in life is to be one of you.
It does not make sense. Alex, you were so emotional.
I really don't understand anything that you just said. I know. I was like Chinese to me.
That's okay.
The thing is, she's too emotional to be a Virgo, but it's okay. I feel like I'm slowly starting to like Scorpios again. I've been burned by too many of them. So I
can change your mind.
But it's okay. You are interns, Paola, like little by little, I'm like, okay, maybe Scorpios don't
a
completely.
Scorpio?
Yes.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah, her birthday's next week.
Yeah.
Shout out Paola, I love you.
Shout out Paola, we love you. But anyway, Alicia, tell us a little bit about yourself for anyone who does not know who you are.
Oh God.
The big question.
Yeah, tell me about yourself. Okay, well, I grew up in Connecticut. I'm a Miami transplant, gringa, but I've been here over 10 years, so 11 years
okay,
actually.
we'll accept you.
So
Yeah.
I've somewhat fit in. I came here for University of Miami again, go Canes, but I know those people get made fun of a lot. But basically, I stayed because of the weather and never wanted to go back to Connecticut. I don't know why I would. Got into social media because I don't speak Spanish, so it was hard for me to find a job after college, especially as a copywriter, which is what I wanted to be. But I figured I'd grow my own Instagram, either become an influencer myself or someone would hire me to do their Instagram. So a little bit of both happened. I hate the word influencer. I'm not an influencer, but I do some social media stuff, obviously. And yeah, I've had a bunch of jobs, which I'm sure we'll get into later. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Cool. So tell us, why do you hate the word influencer?
Because people in Miami just buy followers and have not a creative bone in their body and then call themselves an influencer. And I'm like, who are you influencing to do what? Nobody does anything based off what you post. All your followers are fake. You don't even have an audience. So it's just one of those words that's thrown around, and people who don't know anything about social media just call people an influencer if they have more than 10 followers. And I don't know, it's just
every hot girl from Miami has more than 10K on Instagram. To be honest.
Yeah.
Because they buy
it's I can't even influence a guy to text me back. I'm not influencing anybody.
That's so real. True story. My mom is on spell TikTok or whatever. She's like, you should do this so that so and so texts you back. I'm like, Mom, I'm not doing that. Wait, how was it? Roll the paper, put it in sand.
Your mom just wants you to have a boyfriend.
I don't want a boyfriend. I recently just ended a long-term relationship, so I'm really enjoying the holidays alone. And my mom's like, find a man. I'm like, dodge the bullet. Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, every time I say I'm working with a photographer, videographer, my mom's like, oh, is that boyfriend potential? I'm like, Mom, you were 36 when you got married. Relax.
My mom too. I'm like, why are you rushing me? She's
I
like,
know.
my grandma. I'm like, I need you to chill.
Yeah.
Relax.
Please. As we get really deep, really, really fast. Okay, so you moved to Miami, obviously, and that is awesome. Go Canes. I'm surprised that I haven't met you before.
I know.
Truly. I mean, you're a year older than me, but still.
Don't rub it in.
Sorry. It's okay. I usually feel like the oldest one on this couch.
Yeah,
even though Lexi's
I get
also
it.
just 1 year younger than me.
No, all my friends are younger than me, so I'm
my age is starting to get serious, and I'm really unwell about it. But it's fine.
Are your knees hurting?
No.
You're good then. Can you still drink like you used to? There it is.
Unfortunately, no.
But that's okay. I also can't drink like I used to, and I'm 24. So.
Weak.
I also started drinking when I was 14, so I feel like
your frontal lobe isn't developed. You should still be able to drink.
Well, it's the hangover that gets me. I'm not gonna lie.
Truly though, I don't know how your hangovers are as intense as they are.
They're so horrible, so horrible. I can't do anything. I can't even look at a screen without throwing up and passing out. I don't know. I must have something. I should go get checked out at the doctor. Last episode, I told you guys I was gonna go to the neurologist. This time I'm telling you guys I'm gonna go to the pediatrician because I still go there. Okay, thank you.
How are your hangovers, Alicia?
Yeah, I don't drink as much as I used to. Like ever since working in nightlife, I don't like go out as much, which like ironically, but I just try to avoid hangovers now. I took one of those like DHM detox things for my birthday, and those just made me so tired. So because I took it in the middle of the day, we were at the club and we turned the clocks back. I was like, okay, guys, it's time to go home. But I was actually not hungover the day after my birthday. So
Okay, wait, what is that? Enlighten me.
it's like these supplements you take that you take it with your first drink and you wake up without a hangover.
I need that.
Basically. Yeah, it's called, I think, No Days Wasted is the company. Shout out. They're not sponsoring me, but now they should.
So she is an influencer.
No, I always hear people say that on podcasts. They're like,
So
well, I'm not
what's your
being paid to
code?
say that.
Alicia 20.
Right? Yeah. If anyone from No Days Wasted is listening, hit me up. But yeah, I think it's the actual supplement's called DHM Detox, and it's just, yeah, it's like these two giant pills that you pop, and then
Oh, I
you wake
can't
up feeling
swallow
great.
pills. Do they have like a liquid version?
I'm sure they do.
Alex,
I don't know.
there's a chewable
Maybe if they
tablet.
sponsor me, I'll find out.
Yeah, I need a chewable
Alex wants the
tablet.
Flintstone gummies.
See, those are so yummy. Oh, I love those. I used to eat those like candy. They're really good. I don't know. Okay.
So you mentioned that you work in nightlife. Give us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I used to. I don't anymore. But, you know, it was my dream job to work for Groot Hospitality. And, well, let me back up. When I was 9 years old, I grew up in Guilford, Connecticut, like a really,
going really
small
back.
town in Connecticut. I decided my basement was the club, and that was the name of it, just the club. And I made my mom take me to Spencer's and buy me a disco ball and all these like neon lights. And then I covered tennis balls with aluminum foil and like put them in the corners. And like my idea was that the light from the disco ball would like reflect and there'd be all these lasers everywhere, which like that's not how that works, but in my imagination it was. And so ever since then, my basement was the club, and I really wanted to work in nightlife. Like I'd never been to a club and didn't know what a real club really was. There weren't really any in Connecticut, but you know, it's kind of like this little dream in the back of my mind. And then coming to Miami and going out and, you know, going to all the group spots, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to work here one day. And then literally begged them for 9 months to hire me. I never thought they would, and they finally did, so.
That is amazing.
Okay, what was the first club you went to in Miami?
Mansion. Throwback.
Throwback as fuck.
And actually,
Oh my
what's
God.
funny, I spent my birthday on Saturday at M2, and that was the first
Which
time I
is
had been
what
back.
Mansion
Which was
used to be.
Mansion, yeah.
Oh my
so like
God.
full circle moment.
That's
Wow,
cute.
Mansion. Throwback.
I don't think I ever actually went there.
I don't know what it is.
It's like one of those clubs I probably shouldn't
You
have let
probably weren't
anybody
born
in.
yet.
Yeah. Honestly, I for sure like wasn't living here or anything, so I don't know what
Alex
that
was
is.
in elementary school. I was like 16 showing my big ID at Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was like 19 when I went to Mansion.
So what exactly did you do for Groot Hospitality?
They hired me as digital marketing manager, so it was basically everything digital besides social media. So that was like all the websites for the venues, and I didn't build them. We worked with an agency that built them, but you know, I did, you know, just making sure they were working and ideas for them, things like that. I did the listings, so like Yelp and Open Table and all that stuff for all the restaurants. Email marketing. Anytime anyone emailed us about anything marketing related, also like digital signage and things like that, I would always vet them out. Like the billboards, the aerial banners. So a lot more stuff than just digital, I guess. Well, our billboard was digital, but kind of, yeah, just everything. I'm forgetting something definitely, but Facebook ads. That was a big part of it. So I didn't have that much experience on Facebook ads. I was kind of self-taught, and then my boss taught me a lot more. So did a lot of that.
I feel like this whole industry is self-taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, see what works.
Yeah, well, Groot
figure
was
it
the
out.
first time I wasn't a one-man marketing team. So, you know, I was working for a realtor before, and we had some followers on Instagram. I was like, okay, well, what about the millions of people who don't follow us on Instagram? How do we reach them? So I was like, oh, let's try Facebook ads. Let's try Google ads. And so figured that out a little bit.
That's really cool. So obviously, it's such a cliche question. Like, what was the craziest thing about working for Groot Hospitality? Like, what did you see? I'm like so curious plus to like working in nightlife, because usually things that we do is like during the day, and obviously nightlife is a whole different monster.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the office like 99% of the time, so everyone thought I was always at the club, and like normally it was just 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the office, and then I'd really only go to the club like every once in a while. Like if it was a big weekend or an opening, we need all hands on deck. I had to work the Gecko opening, so well, it's funny because I'm so white. I had to Google what Bad Bunny looked like on the way there because I like would not have known if he slapped me in the face, but. But so, I mean, that was cool, I guess. Like for me, I didn't really care, but like I was standing right there and he like walked into Gecko for the first time and everyone was like outside screaming and
Wait, that's so funny.
That is amazing.
but I don't know, just having gone to UM and being a promoter girl and going to all these things, I'm not really fazed by that much. So, you know, I was face to face with so many celebrities working for Gru and 11, but it didn't really like, I don't know, it was cool, but nothing really sticks out as like the craziest because it's just
It was just all crazy.
constant.
your
Yeah, it was all
job.
crazy.
That's cool. Like, who else did you see? Give us like a.
Give us your
I
top
had to-
3.
Okay, there you go.
I had to take a video of Sway Lee at the Step and Repeat at 11, and he was like, you know, phone is here. He was like right in my phone. He's like, yo, what's up? It's spring break.
Who is Sway Lee?
From Race Remerd.
Like, in context, is he like a singer?
He's a rapper, yeah.
Okay,
Like singer,
I know that song.
rapper.
Okay, I'm
the
uneducated.
Sunflower.
Okay, so
Or-
Alex doesn't know who anybody is because Alex didn't grow up in the U.S.
Oh, where'd you grow up?
Nicaragua.
Oh, okay. When did
But
you
I went to
come
boarding school in Connecticut. We can talk about that later.
Oh,
though.
okay.
But yeah. Sorry,
no,
I
I'm-
wanted like context. So singer.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
No, but I'm the same way. I know nothing about pop culture, and like that's a lot of the time why I didn't really care. I didn't even know who these celebrities were that were like right in my face, especially like a lot of the Latin artists, like Bad Bunny, things like that. I was like, cool, they're famous. Okay, if you say so. I've never heard
That
of
is
them.
so cool.
I think the only person that I would be like starstruck by is Bad Bunny.
I think so too.
Like I would just be, like I wouldn't even know what to say. I would just be like,
Benito. Hola, Benito.
Benito, hello.
Actually, at the Gecko grand opening, I have 2 moments at the Gecko grand opening. I was completely starstruck. When I walked in, it was still like pretty empty, but Derek Jeter was at a table in the back. And
That's
like
cool.
I grew up a huge Yankee fan, and you know, I have Derek Jeter shirts and things like that, and just a celebrity that I've known my entire life, basically. My dad loves him, my mom loves him, my grandma thought he was hot. So
like, were you
so-
able to like say hi to him and stuff, or
no, I didn't, because like, what are you gonna say? Oh my God, I'm a huge fan. Like,
Yeah, like he hears that all the
great.
time.
Yeah, I can tell people I was in the room with him. I don't really need to have a conversation with him. I don't know.
That's so cool.
And
Okay,
then-
so we have Derek Jeter. Who else?
So Future was there. Future's a rapper.
Yes, him I've heard of. Yes,
No, we gotta say.
He's like really, really big in person. But so he was one of the most famous people there. And whenever he wanted to like go somewhere else besides like his table that he was stationed at, everyone kind of just had to part the way and like, you know, take a step back and like wait for his security to go and wait for him to go. And so I'm just kind of standing there like waiting for him to walk by. And he like looks at all the people next to me, starts like dapping all them up, like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? And then he gets to me, obviously has no idea who I am. I'm like this big compared to him. So he looks down at me, just literally gives me like the up down, has this like dirty look on his face. And I don't even think like it was a bad, I think that was just his face. And so I just look up at him and I'm like, hi. And then he just walked away. But I was like, I don't know if he wanted to kill me. I don't know if he wanted to like fuck me, but
Maybe a little bit of
maybe,
both.
yeah, literally.
Maybe he was just confused, like you were so much
Yeah,
smaller
like,
than
who
him.
is this girl? Why is she here with all my boys? I don't know. I don't know why I was there either. But yeah, so
You're
those
like,
were
I'm just trying to do my job.
those were a few encounters I've had on the job that were fun.
That is so cool, and I
Yeah.
love that you're like so unfazed by it. You're like, okay, whatever, moving on.
Yeah, I mean, in Connecticut, if a celebrity even like sets foot in Connecticut, everyone knows about it. It's been on the news, and you know, you expected it for the last 2 months when it was on that one billboard on the highway that they'd be at Foxwoods or something. But in Miami, I just got so used to it so fast, like going out with promoters all the time and, you know, being at that table. Just, I don't know, it's not that hard in Miami. You have to be like a 7+ and you can get everything for free. So
That's true.
That is true. Honestly, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, wait, like these girls are paying to get into the club. Like when I went to like the actual clubs, like not a single cent. Like I paid for my Uber to get there.
Yeah.
But like everything was calm. They used to walk in. I was friends with everyone because I was there so
Yeah.
often, which is like a little embarrassing, but it's okay.
Oh, and that was another thing I did at Groot that I forgot about, the ticketing. And I was always like, people buy tickets to this place? Like, what losers? There's like male and female tickets. I'm like, girls had to buy tickets? Who? Just text the promoter. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess people don't know that.
And I also think like if you don't know about like the promoter world, it sounds very human trafficky. You know, like so I understand like
Yeah.
if you're not like from here or like you're visiting, you don't know who to call. and it
Right.
like could be a scam. I get it.
I mean,
kind
I
of.
used to just search on Instagram #promoter and text the first person that came up, and it worked every time.
That's smart.
And yeah, I mean, it's not. I guess you could still do that, but
I
people
feel
still
like
do that?
I feel like in 20 like what you came here in what 2017.
2013.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like back then, like, Instagram wasn't scary.
No, Instagram. There's
That
no
is
such
true.
thing as an influencer. Like people didn't really like
No.
use social media like that. when
People
I was in
literally
college.
used it to get girls to come to their table at the club.
If you had 1,000 followers on Instagram when I was in college, it was like, wow, who is he?
It was like a big deal. Yeah, but I feel like now Instagram is like scary and you can't do that. Like you have to go through a promoter that you know.
Yeah. And also,
Yeah.
like, I'm 30 now. I'm not going to text some random promoter off Instagram. I'm going to use my connections or I'm not going to go out.
Yeah, and like even just like getting like regular DMs are so scary now. I just got one from somebody. I guess like we had mutuals, and the conversation was so weird. I was like, "There's no way you're picking up girls like this." Like,
There's also though like now, which wasn't a thing before, there's a lot of girl promoters now. And so I feel like that's safe. Like that's
Yes.
really cool.
But I'm also always confused. Like the other day, a girl promoter texted me, and I don't know like how the connection came. And she was like, "Oh, they were having like a dinner at one of our clients at Coppertone." And she was like, "Oh, we're having like a promoter dinner or a girl dinner or whatever."
'Cause she probably
for
in the
29,
comments.
and I was like, "Who is this diva? Queen, thank you, but I want to go back to work right now."
that is really really cool. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, I mean, just going out with promoters because it's such a foreign topic from people in Connecticut. Like everyone thinks I'm rich, and it was so funny because I had literally $3 in my bank account on a good day, and I'd be like at the best table at Live or wherever, like with all these celebrities, and people I hadn't talked to in years would congratulate me, like you're killing it right now. I'm like, I am so
yeah.
unemployed.
Little do you know I'm like in college.
Yeah, so.
Did you ever get like tired? I literally wrote down here. Are you tired?
See, I had this conversation with a coworker at 11. He was telling me they did like a whole study on this where there's like a type of person that just requires less sleep. And I've always been that way. Like in high school, well, my whole life I did gymnastics. And so, most people would just like come home from school and watch TV, like do a little homework. But I would like come home from school, go to the gym for 3 hours, then do my homework. And so like by nature, I would just go to bed super late because I had this activity taking up all my time. And then I don't know, I'm just wired that way. In college, it was the same thing. I'd go out a lot. I didn't do gymnastics anymore. But I just require less sleep. I can function off a few hours. So I guess I was cut out for nightlife while I
Yeah,
was in
so I
it.
was gonna say the job is made for you. Literally.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that because as we were prepping for this, we were talking about it as a group, and our intern was like, "Can you ask her how she's so fit?" And you just kind of answered that.
Oh, yeah.
I think you were doing like a backflip off a ball. She was like, "This is so cool. How does she do this?"
Yeah,
Ask her how she's so athletic.
yeah, so I'm really lucky. I call it like an investment because I like gave up my childhood for gymnastics. Not really, I had a great childhood, but I spent so many hours in the gym. At one point, I went like a 9-to-5 job over the summer because my coach had just opened his own gym. I was the only student at first, so I got there I think at 9 in the morning and left at 5. I had like an hour to go to Subway for lunch, but I'd work out nonstop because he was trying to whip me into shape for college, and then I got hurt and all my dreams went down the drain. But no, it's okay.
You wanted to do gymnastics in college?
I wanted to, but he would always say like, "Oh, when you get this vault, you could go to Oklahoma," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sounds like fun." But, Miami doesn't have a team, so I would have never ended up in Miami. So I got lucky.
So wait, how did you get hurt?
I was actually competing at a meet in New York. I had all my family come and watch me. It was like supposed to be this big deal. I had this brand new floor routine, and I was doing a flip with a half, like a back flip with a half twist connected to a front flip. And so my coach's mentality about the floor mat in gymnastics is that if you don't have a very bouncy floor mat, you'll actually learn how to tumble well. But this floor mat was very, very bouncy. So we were used to, using our technique and not getting that much air. But then when you get to a different gym with a different floor mat, the floor propels you. So you're used to the muscle memory and the timing, and it just wasn't there. And I was babying all my tumbling passes during warm-ups. I kept falling. He's like, "You're not going hard enough. You need to not be afraid. Like I taught you to tumble with power. Use your power." So I just went way too high up when I was competing, like came down on my ankle, like kind of like that. I heard it pop, all the ligaments tore, which I didn't know at that point. I thought I just twisted my ankle. And in gymnastics, like you're a little girl, so they feel bad for you. And if you like fall to the ground and you're all dramatic and you cry, and it was the very beginning of your routine, they'll let you redo it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my acting skills to use. I'm gonna start crying. Like, I'll be fine in 10 minutes. I'll walk it off, and then they'll let me redo the routine. So it was my first tumbling pass, so I got a 1 out of 10 because only satisfied a little bit of the requirements. But my coach like scooped me up. I was like, don't worry, it's fine. Like, I'll just redo the routine. And she goes, girl, you're not going to be walking. And I looked at my ankle. It was like the size of a softball already. So that was like one of the many times I ended up in the hospital after gymnastics. But I tried to make a comeback. It wasn't worth it. I would just cry every day at practice because it hurt so bad. And they would yell at me for crying. So I was like, and you can't like, there's no professional gymnast. It's not like you can go to college, like in football or baseball. You don't go to college for gymnastics and then become a professional gymnast and make all this money. So I was like, I don't want to give up my college experience for a sport that I'm like I was good, but I wasn't great. I wasn't going to be one of those like prodigies. So it just wasn't worth it for me. Damn. I enjoyed my memories, and I can still do a backflip, so that's cool.
There we go. Off a boat, specifically.
I know, specifically off a boat.
True.
Which is very important skill here.
Honestly, I get that though, because I would not have swam in college, even if I was like good enough. Yeah. Well, I look like waking up at 5 a.m. Even earlier, because you have to be in the pool at 5 a.m.
Right?
Like,
yeah. I did a little bit of swimming in high school, but I stopped because I didn't want the shoulders. Like, let me not look like a man. Sorry,
that was
no
the thing. Yeah, people are like, "What do you do?" Like, I'll be doing my ponytail, and people are like, "Oh my god, what do you do for your arms?" I'm like, "Nothing. I don't work out anymore." And I like. My arms. Like I had to go to prom with a wrestler in high school because I was bigger than everyone else in my grade. It was like gross. I don't know. I don't think that's cute.
Wait, do you have like workout trauma? Do you not work out anymore because you did so much when you were little?
I just don't work out because I don't need to. Like
fair.
I don't know. That's like
a flex.
I sound like an asshole, but
no, that's such a flex.
That's what Alex sounds like.
But it's like
I work out.
Alex does like 3 steps of ballet.
I have a mat in my house and I have 5-pound weights and then I do my routine and then I walk my dog. I have a specific routine. I don't know if we want to get into it right now, but I do it twice.
No, please, yeah.
It's abdominales y culo. That's it right there. Legs and butt and abdominals. And I do like a bunch of the sit-ups and then like for the side too. And then I do like plank and then I do like the Russian twist and then I do like the squat. And then I do the one that's like the fire hydrant. And then I also do the one that's like leg straight. And then the one that's like the fire hydrant, but then you extend your leg and then you bring it back down. And I do that 2 times. It takes me like 45 minutes because I take a lot of breaks. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that every once in a while. Like I like the ones where you're laying down because I'm not really exerting myself. Like if you see me running, you should be running too because like somebody has a gun or something's on fire.
Yeah, I hate running. I'm not a cardio person.
I'll like run to the kitchen.
Exactly.
Runners are very impressive. Like everyone that was at the New York Marathon and things, I'm like,
wait, did you guys see the girl who did the marathon drunk?
Drunk, yes.
And every time she would run, like people had like Hennessy for her, and she was like chugging the Hennessy, and she kept running. I was like, girl, you're an icon.
Not the Hennessy.
Okay. That's what I said. One time I did a Hennessy funnel and I never recovered.
I've never had Hennessy and now I'm scared. I never will.
I'm like just traumatized thinking about a Hennessy funnel.
No, yeah, it was really bad. 10 out of 10 do not recommend.
Hennessy is rum or
brandy,
whiskey.
Cognac.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
that's
used
an
to work with
alcohol
them,
I've never
actually.
heard of. What is that made of?
It's
cognac.
I should know this because I did literally 15 Hennessy events.
You know
but
how like aguardiente is like its own thing? That's kind of
like
what
that.
Hennessy is.
Oh. Well, the more you know. Thank you for educating me. Wow.
Wait, so did you work with Hennessy? Like you did their socials, or it was like a personal brand deal?
So this is when I had my Brickle blog, which we'll get into later, but they have Hennessy's actually a very classy brand, if you know.
They have a bad reputation, but
yeah, they do have a bad reputation.
The bottle
but,
is very beautiful.
Yeah, and it's expensive too. Like the XO bottle, I think is like a few $100s.
Wow.
But so when I had this blog, they would have these really classy events, and they just needed us to get 15 people, or not even, I think 12 people to show up to each event. And, you know, it was one of those things, like those brand experiences where they give you a little talk about the brand, you make a cocktail, you smell things, and you guess the ingredients. And, you know, it's just this whole experience. But people would get wasted. You'd get like at least 6 drinks by the end of the night. And I was a photographer, and I'd be like wasted at the end of the night. But the pictures always came out really good.
Like
but yeah, so they would pay us like $500 just to get 12 people to show up. And we would make one Instagram post and get like 50 comments. So we had 4 events staffed, like just off one Instagram post. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So tell us a little bit about your
The
Brickle
Brickle
blog.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was like I said before, when I couldn't find a job, I would just like grow my own Instagram, and just like every UM grad, I moved to Brickle. and was unemployed, just walking around, taking pictures of stuff. And I think this was right when Instagram stories came out, because all I would do was little doodles with my finger on Instagram. And this realtor saw my doodles and he was like, oh, these are really cute. I have this Brickell blog, but I'm so busy with real estate, like I don't have time to do it. So can you just walk around Brickell, take a few pictures, send me like 10 stories each month and I'll pay you? I was like, oh, sounds great. Yeah, I've never heard of being paid for social media, but sure, I'm not even famous. So, I started doing that. And then I was like, hey, why don't I do more than just stories for you? I'll post for you. I'll go to the different places. Like maybe we can get some free food and we could take pictures of it. Me thinking I'm like inventing being an influencer.
No, but at that time, that's kind of what that
it
felt
was. It was
like.
2017.
Was
yeah.
like so new. Yeah.
So, he had me run his blog, and then I kind of like took over. And I mean, he still owned it, and like he paid me like literally, I would charge like 5 times what he paid me, and more than that now, to do it like nowadays. But back then, he kind of gave me my start on social media, and I got to know all the Brickell business owners. I got free stuff anywhere I went just because I would post about it. And I remember it only had like 7,000 followers when I started, but I got it up to 10K. And that was back when you needed 10K to have a link in your stories.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we were like, that was a huge milestone. That was like, nobody had 10K back then. So we got 10K. Then I grew it up to like the mid 20s, which was, pretty good. And yeah.
Do you still work with him and that blog?
No. So I do not. I started actually helping him with real estate too, right over COVID. So it was actually, he hired me to help him with real estate in February, and then COVID happened in March. So everybody lost their jobs, but I had just gotten a job. So I was super busy over all of COVID. But, we just had some differences on how the page should be run. We tried to do this like partnership membership program with like local businesses and people in the community. And we just had different ideas about how to run it. And any money to invest, he wanted to invest in his real estate business, which, yeah, obviously looking back at it, like you're going to be selling a multi-million-dollar penthouse or like have a girl taking pictures of sandwiches in Brickell. Like, okay, if I was him, I would have done the same thing. But so we just kind of parted ways after that. And I had started a couple other things. So
it's funny because I used to tag Brickell Scoop in all of like my
Really?
old like blog posts, because you guys were like the Brickell spot, and like I feel like communities used to have like the page like before. I think only they like really blew up to what it's now. You would have like these like community pages, and they'd be so much fun to tag. And I remember
and it
Brickell
was
Scoop
nice because
very,
Brickell's so small and contained. So it was like there was only not that many places to go, and I had every single restaurant, every single whatever, and like categories on the website. I had like a full directory, so it was just so small and manageable. But it was big enough where I wasn't posting the same stuff all the time.
And I feel like Brickell nowadays is so different than it was even a few years ago. Like everything since COVID, everything has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Manhattan and Miami now.
Literally.
How do you feel about it?
I like it, honestly.
Oh, I hate it.
I know, because I'm not like a real Miamian.
No,
so
it's not even that. I just like, we were just talking about this. Like, I feel like the nightlife there is so different. Like, and maybe it's that we're getting older. I don't know. But like Blackbird doesn't feel the same anymore. Like being able to like the bar crawls. I miss those
The bar
so
crawls
much.
used to be the best.
They would like close on all of Brickell, and you would just like bar hop everywhere in heels, which is another. Why did we do that? I have no idea. But I don't know. I feel like Brickell used to be like the place to go, and now it's like unless you're getting dinner, it's turning into a clubstaurant. Like where are you going in Brickell?
Yeah, it used to be a
realistically?
little more chill. Now it's just like kind of like the rest of Miami. Everything's see and be seen, and
like Batch used to be so much fun, and it's still there, obviously. But I don't know. I
actually went to Batch
Yeah.
recently, and it wasn't like the crazy like party brunch atmosphere that it used to be. It was just like very much like the food was still good, and like I had fun because I was with a good group of people. But like it wasn't like we were like at different people's tables, like everyone was sharing their bottomless mimosas. Like it wasn't that vibe anymore.
Yeah, I feel like Miami's kind of lost the bottomless mimosas vibe in general. Some places.
I don't even like. Do places still do? I mean, Copper does.
Copper does.
So does Top 42, but I don't
Yeah.
really like Top 42's food. But that's like a me thing.
It's okay. It's okay to be wrong sometimes.
It's okay. We're all entitled to our wrong opinions.
So besides the Brickell Scoop, you also had another page in Connecticut. Tell us a little bit about that.
right. So when I was doing the Brickell Scoop, and like there were a few things I wanted to do that I wasn't really allowed to do, I was very classic Alicia, like, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. Then I'm going to make my own page and, do everything I want because it's mine. So I started this page in New Haven, where I grew up, completely from Miami. I didn't live in New Haven.
That's so funny.
And and I didn't tell anybody about it. I think I told my parents, but I didn't even tell my friends or anything like that. And I just, used my self-taught techniques that I used to grow the Brickle Scoop. But in New Haven, it's so far like behind Miami in a way where like not everyone's always on their phone taking selfies, like not everyone's an influencer. Restaurants like didn't even have websites, a lot of them, like they didn't really have Instagram pages. So it's just a totally different landscape. And there were a few food bloggers, but there was not a single lifestyle blog in New Haven that was just like, beyond restaurants. And there were a few like government run pages that were like, the downtown New Haven page and things like that, but they all had some sort of like corporate or like government backing. So here I am, like this Miami girl, like let's just see what'll happen. And I got 1,000 followers per month for the first 6 months. It was growing like crazy. Whoa, and this was before like Reels, I think.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like I just went viral once and got all these followers. It was like I was putting in the work every day, sitting there for hours, like engaging and like doing all this stuff. But so finally, I got to like 3,000 followers, I think. And I had friends from high school following me too that didn't even know it was me.
That is so cool.
And because I would just curate people's pictures. I'd always give credit. I was asked to take something down maybe like 2 or 3 times. But, most people would just appreciate your sharing their work and things like that. But I said to my friend who actually helped me with the Brickle Scoop when she lived in Miami, like, hey, check out this page, Sup New Haven. And she's like, oh, it's really cute. It's a lot like the Brickle Scoop. I'm like, yeah, it's me. And she's like, wait, what? Like, how are you doing this for Miami? I'm like, honestly, it's not that hard. You just you make a list of all the restaurants and the places, you type them in on Instagram, you screenshot the good pictures, throw a filter on,
Oh my God, back when everyone used Instagram filters.
I know.
I miss it.
What year was this? The 2020?
This was,
more or less?
Yeah, it was 2020. Because it was also when like everyone wanted to support small businesses. And I was like, well, what a better way than having this page that like everybody's following now to like talk about all the good places in New Haven.
Did you ever show your face on that vlog or blog?
Yeah, I did. It wasn't really a secret. Like after I told a bunch of my friends and, I'd go to New Haven every once in a while. That was the other thing. I wished I could have gone to New Haven more, but like being here with the Brickle Scoop and the real estate thing, I just couldn't like leave Brickle and go to New Haven whenever I wanted. But, when I did go to New Haven, I would literally spend like the entire weekend. I was there running around taking pictures of myself, making my mom come with me. And so then it was awkward because I get invited to like influencer events in New Haven and people would be like, oh, I've never seen you before. And I'm like, I'm kind of like back and forth, which like wasn't a lie because I was back and forth. I just wasn't back and forth as often as people assumed and I didn't correct them. So people would ask me to do a collab, like, oh, can you come in this weekend? I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm out of town, which like, I am out of town. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But then I eventually, like when I did tell my friends it was me, I asked them if they could help me too. And, they would fill in for times that I wasn't able to be in Connecticut. So.
And you still have that page?
I actually sold it. So.
Wow.
A businesswoman. My first exit. But, so it got to the point, it only had like 13,000 followers, but that's like a lot in Connecticut, especially New Haven. And so I got to the point where people were reaching out to me for collabs like all the time. And I was trying to make it work, but, I had some interns, which shout out Kate, I love you. But, it was a lot of work just like teaching the interns and giving them feedback and things like that. And I made Kate into a great content creator. But, when her internship ended, it was like, okay, now what? And my friends would go every once in a while, but I wasn't making enough money to like pay them to do it. Yeah. So I was always like, hey, if you want to get some free food, like this restaurant wants to work with us. If every once in a while they would pay us like $100, I'm like, we can split it, whatever. But if you don't want to do it, don't feel obligated. But it was fun for a lot of my friends. So they would go and they'd do these collabs. But then I'd get reached out to so often and I have such high standards. I was trying to find someone who could help me and like just it wasn't there in Connecticut. Yeah. I don't know. I'm probably just not that good at recruiting. But I just couldn't find anybody who like had already had influencer experience and like knew what to do that I wouldn't have to teach because I was like, I don't want to spend all this time like training somebody.
I also feel like everyone thinks that social media is really easy because they're like, oh, like I post on my Instagram,
exactly.
like I can
know
do
how
it
to
for
use
your
Instagram.
business, and it's like no, it's like completely different.
Yeah, so I kind of just slowed the posting to a stop, which I didn't want to do, but it was just kind of an opportunity cost. Like I need to focus on things that are actually going to make me money where I'm spending all this time growing the page. And then the second I get a paid collab, I can't even do it because I'm not there. So I kind of just stopped posting. And then this kid from high school reached out to me like, hey, can I like buy your blog? I see you like don't even post on it anymore. And I said, so this is actually a really good business lesson. I had a number in my head that I was ready to say like this much and it's yours. And he offered me double. I said, make me an offer instead of like saying my number.
Yeah.
He offered me double. So I took it.
Nice.
I said, it's all
Wow.
yours. Yeah.
Whoa.
Nice. And the page is like doing great now? Or did he also stop?
No, he's still doing it. Yeah. He has, I think his girlfriend works in social media also. So I think they do it together. I don't know. I
Oh,
think
see,
they're
like
still
that's
together.
so fun.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had actually wanted to be my partner on it, but I was just like, and I had like used some of her content too, and we would talk, but I was like, you're great, like I like you a lot, but I need someone with like a little bit more experience for me to like put all my time into this still. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's theirs now, so I'm really happy for them. I see some great stuff that they post. I still follow it. They wished me happy birthday the other day, which was funny, like my own blog wishing me happy birthday. But
That is
I mean, they're
so
probably
freaking
so
cute.
thankful for it.
yeah. And he had all this, he was like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. I'm just not there, so I can't do it. So I'm hoping that he like grows it to that point where he can do all those things that I wanted to do with it.
How recently did you sell the website?
Over the summer.
Over the summer?
So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
like,
super recent.
yeah, not that long ago.
Wow. So you had it for like about 4 years.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Do you ever miss it, or it got to the point where it was like a burden?
Yeah, it was a burden. If I lived in Connecticut, then I would, yeah, I'd definitely miss it. But it was just like, oh, I have to post something on Sub New Haven. I haven't posted in so long. And then it was just like an awkward conversation every time someone reached out to do a collab because I wasn't there, and people kind of they were on to me. You know, I saw these people at like a few events, and they like followed my personal, and they're like, oh wow, this girl like literally lives in Miami. She doesn't have a single picture in Connecticut.
She comes to Connecticut on vacation.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us. It's okay.
Yeah, but it gave me a reason to like going home because, like, when you're leaving Miami to go home for Christmas, like, yeah, I love seeing my friends and family, but it's freezing there. I don't want to go there. So at least I had this blog that I was like, oh, I could take content while I'm there.
Do you miss managing these kinds of pages, or are you happy that you have your own company now?
Well, I actually have a Miami page too that I started.
There we go.
All right, drop the at.
Well, that one's called Miami Unleashed, which, you know, like my company's Creativity Unleashed, which we'll talk about. So that one I started, let me think about this. I guess I started that in like, 2021, like right before Groot, when I like never thought Groot would hire me, and like I didn't have the Brickle one anymore. And I think I had the New Haven one, but I was like, well, I want one that's here that I could actually do collabs with and things like that. So, but you know, it's so competitive and there's so many blogs that are just like it. So it was a lot of time and effort to like not really see that much growth and to not be making money from it. So I was like, well, I'm unemployed. I need to like find a job. And I was a little bit too immature to like really start my own agency back then, even though I had the LLC on paper just for like one-off jobs. But, so I couldn't do it when I was working at Groot, but I was still logged in on it because I'd go and like my own pictures from the blog. But
We do
one
the
day,
same thing. It's okay.
Same.
but one day I just started getting all these followers. I'm like, what's going on? It got 10,000 followers just like from me doing nothing. And then
You literally are a magnet for
I don't know.
followers.
I
Every
wish they'd
single-
follow my personal page because I was like, here I am. I can't even do this page right now because it was a conflict of interest. But everybody is following it. I don't know if they noticed I haven't posted in 2 years, but if you want to
Wow.
follow it, sure, like go ahead. Maybe I'll restart it one day. So then I restarted it when I worked for 11. They said I could do it. They liked the idea of promoting Miami as a whole, and yeah, so it still gets like a bunch of followers. I'm still trying to like get it to where it needs to be because right now it's like a very low priority with everything I have going on. But
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a blog that I haven't paid attention to, like, in I don't know how long. Because you think after an entire day of working for everybody else, I want to do things on my own page. I'm
exactly, it's
like,
like
I eat my phone out the window.
yeah, like we all do social media for work. So sometimes it's like when I have a free minute, do I want to do work again? Even though it's like for me and it's fun, it's like sometimes I just want to like, I don't know, not work.
Not
People
yet.
will be
Rare,
like,
but
did you see my
sometimes.
Instagram story? And I'm like, no, like I couldn't tell you the last time I fully went through and checked my personal Instagram. But the work one, I can tell you what everyone from the work Instagrams is doing.
Yeah. No, and that's, yeah, like the pros and cons, obviously, of working in social. However, your personal videos are incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Insane. Like,
Your Farquaad costume. I'm obsessed.
See, I'm like that girl on Halloween where, well, so for people listening that didn't see my video because it kind of flopped, I was Lord Farquaad for Halloween.
You can send us a picture to insert on the video.
Oh yeah, I will. So there's like the funny girls on Halloween and the sexy girls on Halloween, and I always try to like be a combination of both. So like my Lord Farquaad costume, my first like Instagram story reveal that night I was going out, I was like a mirror thing, and I started just focused on my feet, and I panned the camera up. And I was wearing fishnets, and then I was wearing like a lingerie thing, and you could see a cape. And then I had a 5 o'clock shadow painted on my face with this wig and like the Lord Farquaad hat. And I was just staring into the camera like with a blank face. And what started as like
how did you come up with that idea?
Actually, I saw an influencer, that was that word again. I saw an influencer on social media who had dressed as Lord Farquaad, but she didn't make it sexy. She just made it like really funny. But I had a few ideas in my head. I went to the costume store. I was like, I have to get something. And then the Lord Farquaad kind of just, I don't know, made itself. And then I bought a few things. I tried it on and I was like, this is so much better than I thought.
Question for you. Did you get hit on as Lord Farquaad?
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone needs to go to therapy. If you hit on somebody who had like a funny or an ugly costume, you need therapy.
I mean, from here down, I looked sexy, but from here up.
Or you can appreciate a sense of humor.
I was an old person for Halloween, and I got hit on more as that than as like the sexy race car driver.
Oh yeah, so we actually dressed up as old ladies and went to Key West for my friend's bachelorette, and like, oh my God, we couldn't keep the guys off us.
That's crazy.
I told you to be funny for Halloween.
Everyone has mommy issues.
Yay. Just start passing out like therapy cards to everyone who's sitting on me.
Right?
I kept getting wow, I love older women. And I was like, dude,
wow.
I mean, thanks, but like, this is weird.
That'd be good lead gen for a therapist.
I thought about it. Like my friend Theo, who has a clinic, I should have brought all of her cards and just passed them all out. Yeah, it's okay. So Lexi, maybe you want to ask her about the roaches.
Oh my God. Okay. So I like follow your Instagram. Like I said, we're internet friends. And you lived in this apartment that had roaches. And you were always posting about it. So I was like, okay, she's open about it. Like, I assume you keep your house clean. Like, what was going on?
Okay, so I was living in a penthouse in Brickell, which like sounds really crazy, but it was like so cheap. I don't know how they let me live there for like, I felt like it was free. But there was this one piece of wood. So it started as a termite infestation. There was this one piece of wood in my apartment that had like some dust below it. And it's a really long story. But when I moved in, the landlord was like, oh, don't worry about it. Like there's some dust, but like you'll just sweep it up. Like it's fine. I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm lucky to be living here. As long as I don't see a bug, I'm good. Mm-hmm. So then while I was living in the apartment, she sold it to somebody else. And then like a week into this new woman buying this apartment, they started swarming. And so it was basically routine. Every night at sundown, like around 7:30, I had this one like lantern light in the middle of my apartment. And one day I'm sitting on my couch and I look up at the light and there's like a bug on it. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I get up and like see what it is. And then I noticed there was another one. And then all of a sudden this whole lantern was like full of bugs. And then they were like on the couch, on the wall, like hundreds of them that just appeared within like a couple minutes. And I was like, what is going on? And I think I had to like go out to dinner that night or something. So I was like, okay, that was weird, whatever. I'll worry about it later. Texted my new landlord like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but like, you know, I had a little bug incident today, and she was like, oh, we'll have someone take a look at it, whatever. I don't know. Long story short, it happened every single day, those swarms, for over a month. And she would keep having these, like, what are they called? The exterminators come to the apartment, and then they would leave and be like, oh, no, you don't have a bug problem. And I'm like, I do have a bug problem. Like, I don't know who let you be an exterminator.
Maybe, like, stay here till nighttime.
Yeah, and I would, like, show them pictures and stuff. I'm like, well, first of all, there's all this dust on the floor, which, like, that doesn't bother me. But, like, when I show you the graveyard of bugs in my kitchen, because they would, you know, they'd swarm and then they would die after, like, an hour. And then I'd have to clean up all these disgusting bugs. And, like, I'm just a girl. I live by myself. I didn't have a boyfriend or anything that could deal with it.
Oh, my gosh.
So I had to clean up all these disgusting bugs. And it was over a month of living in that and dealing with that. And who knows, they have wings, they fly. I didn't know termites flew, but I would find wings like in the water thing in my kitchen and like never in my bed, thank God, but like on my night table a couple of times I'd find like a wing. So I'm like, who knows like where I'm gonna find one of these things? And I was literally losing my mind. So that's why I would post about it on social media. Cause
if I was going through the same thing and it was like something that I couldn't control, I would be doing the same thing. I'd be like, guys, like I need someone to know I'm not crazy. Right? I felt like that's why you were doing it.
Yeah, and I guess I deal with trauma through humor because I'd make these videos. Like one time I laid on the ground next to all these dead bugs and I was like, hey, Jessica, I know you've been living here for a while. I really think it's time you start contributing to the rent. And like a lot of people just thought I was crazy, but I was like, I will literally lose my mind if I don't like make humor out of this situation. And so they finally solved the problem. They kept my entire security deposit because they hated me because I was like upset living in an infestation.
Yeah.
But that's a whole still ongoing. But
are you still living there?
No, well they still have my security deposit from years ago, but she needs it more than me, I guess. Broke bitch. Anyway, then I moved to an apartment in South Beach and everyone was like, oh, wow, I'm so happy for you. People I didn't even know were messaging me like, I'm so happy for you, no more termites. And then I saw my first cockroach.
And it's so funny because I used to be a paralegal and I know what building you used to live in and we used to manage their HOAs and you're not the only person with a roach complaint.
Yeah, and I mean, with that building, I get it. There's going to be a roach every once in a while. I was on South Beach, like 2 blocks from the beach. I was on the 2nd floor. It was an 80-year-old building, and I was paying way more to live there than the Brickell penthouse, which was annoying. But I was like, okay, I'm going to see a roach every once in a while. I get it. The building had someone come spray every month or so, and so it was always a startle, but there's just no excuse to have termites in a penthouse in Brickell. So that's the one that like really drives me nuts.
Jesus.
So anyway, does your new apartment have any bugs? Or is this one good?
I don't want to jinx it. Does anyone have wood to knock on? If I knock on wood, a termite would probably come out.
Yeah, I was going to say I have a termite.
But no, I'm on the 40th floor now of a place downtown, and there are no bugs.
Nice. Good. So how did you two become internet friends?
We met because of the same person that introduced you and I.
Got it.
I'm like, I'll let her take this one. I don't know if that's a sore topic.
Not really.
No, it's not. It's just, Miami's so small that like that person's connected to that person. And
yeah.
Everyone is connected.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. That's nice.
So now we all have a friend in common.
But Digo, like, did you guys like meet in person? Or
yeah, we met in person one time.
A birthday party.
I thought you guys were just like strictly internet friends.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was someone's birthday party, and we met and like we talked and we followed each other on Instagram, and then I was like, this girl's really cool, so I just kept following her.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's like a lot of people you meet in Miami. You're like, oh my God, let's follow each other. And then you follow each other. You never see each other again. But there, some girls just fall off and I don't talk to them. And I'm like, who even is this? And unfollow them. But people like Lexi, I'm like, okay, she's cool. Like we don't see each other ever, but I'll stay following
her. I also
her.
feel
we
like,
talk.
because like we like work in similar industries. Like I could really like relate to your content. And like you would do a cool brand deal and like edit a video, and I'd be like, okay, wait, how did she edit that? Like the spray paint one, like that one's my favorite. I was like, I don't know how you did that.
Oh, that's so easy. I could teach you. You could do it in 5 minutes.
Perfect.
Constantly, as we were prepping for this, we were like, how is she making all of these videos? Like, they're so cool.
Oh, I'm so glad, because that's kind of my goal. It's like I'll make a video and it'll get 3 views on TikTok, but I like it and I did a good job with it and my mom likes it and my friends like it, and that's what matters.
I noticed like watching your videos, you're very creative. Like I feel like you can know how to edit videos, but without the creativity, like sometimes I like the spray one. I'm like, I would have never thought of something like this.
Oh, thank
like,
you.
It's like not just like your editing video, but then also, and talking to you right now too, I feel like you just have and creativity embedded inside of you. Like it like seeps out of your pores.
Yeah, I always say that. I mean, a lot of my videos, honestly, I just like copy someone else that did it on social media because I get served with a lot of videos similar to what I make, obviously. And but I always overcomplicate everything. I'm like, oh, they shot it in front of a white wall. Let me shoot it outside. And then I shoot it outside, and there's like a person standing in the background that won't move, and then the clouds change, and I'm like, oh, this was a horrible idea. I should have just done it in front of a white wall. But I've learned a lot about that, and a lot of people don't notice. I send it to my mom, and I'm like, this is horrible, but whatever. And she's like, how did you do that? I'm like, you can't see that like in the first scene it's sunny and in the second scene it's cloudy. Like seriously. But I don't know. I guess because I'm the one like doing it, I know.
That's
and
the thing, that when you're the one doing it, you see all these imperfections that nobody else sees, but you see it.
right.
That's why when we send each other content, we're like, okay, guys, like, have I looked at this for too long, or like, is it actually bad?
Yeah. Or is it
Yeah.
actually good? Or yeah, like you said, that we've just like started it way too long.
No, yeah, sometimes I'll stare at like a reel, a graphic. I'm like, okay, like, why do I hate when I cut the video here, and why do I also hate it when I cut it right here? Like, I don't know what to do anymore.
And you both have the same thing where you do, like, you're like, this is horrible, and I'm like, this is a work of art. What are you guys talking about? So it's okay. We are all of our own worst critics.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's just social media. It's not that deep.
Okay, so now that you started your own company, like, what made you finally like decide, like, okay, I want to do my own agency, like, I want to work for myself?
I just like wasn't really able to be creative at my other jobs. It was like I'd recommend something and they're like, "Oh, we've never done that before," and I'm like, "Okay,
We can try."
Exactly.
Remember
Yeah.
when like they invented the light bulb? Where they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, we've never seen light before, so like we're just gonna sit in the dark for the rest of our lives." Like, are you nuts? So it's just like every time I had an idea, and like sometimes they would go with it, but then they'd change it a lot, and I was just like, I could do this so much better by myself, and like, you know, the hours are long, and I don't mind sitting in an office because I actually like working out of an office, which is weird, but it was just like I had to give up so many things. I couldn't like, you know, go home and see my family as often, or go on vacations, or like do stuff because I was always sitting in an office, and then I'd get all these collab requests on the side where it's like I can make a few $100 just from making a video, but I can't even make that video because I'm at work all day. And so I'm like, if I just finally dive in and pursue this, I could be making so much more money and like actually get to do the things that I want to do. So I took the plunge.
So how long ago did you start your own company?
Well, so on paper, I started it like over 5 years ago because my mom said that if I made like a $200 video for a brand, the IRS would come knocking on my door if I didn't have a company, which I'm like, have you been to Miami? Do you see all those people driving Lambos? I think that they have a little bit more of like a fraud problem or whatever you want to call it than me. But so it's like, you know, here and there, like when I did my taxes, it was like, oh, what was your revenue this year? Like $70. Yeah. Like that Patrick Star meme, I have $3. But, and, you know, I've tried here and there to like, every time I quit a job, I haven't stayed in many jobs for that long, but I would quit a job and be like, oh, I'm just going to do my own thing. And then I'd get some other opportunity. And I'm like, you know what, if I can just have someone giving me a paycheck and not have to like depend on myself as much, like, you know, some days you just don't feel like working. And when you're working for yourself, if you don't feel like working, you don't make any money. So, you know, I'd get these opportunities. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Fine, I'll go work for you. And then, you know, for all the same reasons, it would like just never work out the way I wanted it. So finally, just a couple of months ago, I think September, I quit 11. And I was like, I'm just gonna do this. And I set myself up where I just signed a 6-month lease with a roommate. I didn't have a roommate in 7 years, but I was like, I'm gonna try this myself. I have enough money to pretty much like cover my rent for the month, or for the year, for the 6 months, whatever. So, you know, if I completely fail at this and you know, I won't be stressed about money every day. I could pay my rent. And then at 6 months, if I'm still making no money, I just go home and live with my parents till I figure it out. So that's like my motivation. I can't stay in Miami if I don't figure this out. So
Very true.
yeah, I'm figuring it out.
We're rooting for you.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Are you doing content creation for brands, or is it more like these collaborations that are coming in for you?
Yeah, I'm like still figuring out exactly what I'm offering. I actually just made an investment in this course that's teaching me like, you know, you want to offer all these things, but you need to figure out like, what are you good at? And, you know, how can you productize this offer for everybody? Because right now I have no problem with lead generation. People know that I make cool videos and I do marketing. And like, oh, my uncle has this company and he needs marketing and it's for like some financial thing or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't really want to work with like a certain type of client. I like the more creative stuff, but you know, I'm in no position to turn down money. So I'll say, yeah, sure. What does he need? And then, you know, I just reinvent the wheel every single time I have someone whose uncle needs marketing. And so this course is teaching me to like, so what do you offer? What do you want to offer? And how can you offer it in a way that you can offer it to a variety of industries, but you're not reinventing the wheel each time. You have like a productized offer as like a package, basically.
That's amazing. Congratulations. It's very hard.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
But it
Sometimes
sounds
I'm
very
like,
exciting,
why did I do
too.
this? But it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun, and I'm lucky I got a client like right off the bat, so he's been keeping me busy. And,
Whoa, that's awesome.
thanks. So yeah, now it's just managing my time between like him. I'm also growing, you know, my LLC's page because I don't like I want to have like some content and following on my own LLC page, because who's going to hire like a creative agency that has one follower? So I want to like grow that and at least have it almost like as a portfolio of my work too. I'm trying to balance the Miami Unleashed thing and monetize that, and then, you know, make my own videos, do my own collabs sometimes, all while like doing this course and finding more clients. So
my question
busy.
from before stands: are you tired?
No, I like coffee a lot, so that helps.
Where's your favorite coffee spot?
I should have brought you a bag of
We will be
coffee.
judging your answer.
No, you're totally gonna judge me for this answer.
Oh.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
I know that like doesn't really count, but
I thought you
you're
were
fine.
going
Oh
to
no,
say Pura
I
Vida.
love Dunkin'. Yeah, we're a Pura Vida hating household over here.
I was listening to that episode of your podcast, and okay, I'm gonna be straightforward. I say Pura Vida, and I know you're gonna make fun of
Well,
me,
no. So
but-
apparently, someone, Leslie from Treat Yourself Everywhere, made a video on TikTok that like apparently that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, like Pura Vida. That's how they want it to be pronounced. So I just my brain can't see those words and like not
Not say
say
it.
it.
Yeah, they're Spanish words, so I
Yeah.
would expect people who speak
I
Spanish.
thought the owners were Costa Rican because that's literally the slogan of the entire country of Costa
Yeah.
Rica, and no, they're not.
Alex was so shocked by that.
It angers me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like,
Cultural appropriation.
Like imagine me and my gringo English. I didn't even take Spanish in school. Like I don't know any Spanish, and then me being like, oh, I'm gonna go get coffee at Pura Vida. Like that sounds so.
I think
weird.
I also think it's so crazy that you've lived in Miami for so long and you still don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
No.
Not even like a word, 2 words, nothing.
I know. Well, when I worked for this like tech company, that's a whole nother story. But the whole team was based in Colombia, so I picked up on some stuff because I was the only American at the company. So even in Miami, you know, they'd speak Spanish on all the calls, and so una pregunta. That means a question. As
Pura vida.
know. And mira.
Yes.
So there's just words
so
that I'm
funny.
like, you know, and Buddy the Elf, what's the name? He says like Francisco. That's fun to say. That was me. I was sitting at the office going, pregunta.
Honestly, kind of iconic. Okay, the last question I have for you is you posted that you were at a Diddy party.
How was that?
And I just like want you to elaborate a little bit.
How did you even like go? Let's start with that first.
Okay, so it was Art Basel a couple years ago, like before, you know, what we know about Diddy came to light. I ran into my friend from like middle school who like moved down to Miami, and we were outside Maxim. Like we were on the list, but we got there too late and they closed the doors to Maxim. So we're just kind of like standing there figuring out what to do. And he's like, you guys want to go to Maxim? Let's go. I'm like, okay, who are you? How can you get us in, Mr. Guilford, Connecticut? But, you know, we went there with him. We found some friends when we were inside. And then someone was like, let's go to Diddy's. And I'm like, okay, Star Island
yeah.
party.
Who are you to
cool.
say no?
Yeah, exactly.
Before we knew.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we like get to the door at Diddy's, and I think they stole a bottle of like Casamigos or something from like the Maxim party we were at. But so he was like holding it in a towel, like people thought he was like holding a baby, but we're like walking down the street with his
the same
Casamigos
thing.
bottle. Yeah, literally. So yeah, we just show up to Diddy's, and you know they're not letting anybody in. And then my friend was like, "Well, do you want this Casamigos bottle?" And the bouncers were like, "Sure." And they took it, and then they still didn't let us in. And then my friend was like, "Well, why don't I give you like $1,000?" And they're like, okay. So he gives him, I think it was like $1,000 he gives them, and they just let us in. And so we didn't go into his house or anything. Like, I don't even think I saw Diddy. I might have seen a couple of his sons, but I've been out with them before, just, you know, Miami things. So that wasn't like that crazy to me. But we were just chilling in his backyard, and it was just like a normal party.
Was it worth $1,000?
For me, no, but it wasn't my money, so sure.
Duh.
But then it was funny because as I was leaving, I was working for Groot at the time. I was leaving, and a bunch of like Groot, like bigwigs were trying to get in, and they couldn't get in. I was like, oh, have a good night.
You're like, bye.
It was just funny because I was like, they're way more like established in the city than me. Like I have no business being at Diddy's house, but I don't know. I happened to have a friend that paid the bouncers off, so.
Maybe that gave you a little bit of credibility, like Monday morning.
Right? Yeah, they're like, oh, wow.
They're probably
she's-
like, how were you there?
yeah. Like, who the fuck are you? We made you.
And you're like, actually, you're not my son. Thank you. This is my house now. So our very last question before we go into hit or miss, a very important question. What part of TikTok are you on?
You're gonna think I'm lying, but I'm like not really on TikTok.
Oh, okay. Talk
like,
to us about that.
I have TikTok. So, okay. Like I said, when COVID first started and everyone got on TikTok, I just had a new job. So I was so busy. I wasn't like sitting around with nothing to do going on TikTok. And so I was like, everyone asked me like, why aren't you famous on TikTok? And I'm like, I don't know. I make videos. I'll post every once in a while, but like nothing ever popped off. I had like 200 followers. And like, I'm a little bit older too than like the main TikTok demographic, like, you know, the Gen Zs. So it was just never really like a priority for me. And then every time I tried it, it would flop. And I'm like, I used to edit my TikToks in like Premiere.
Oh, like
And
high-tech
yeah,
stuff.
because that's what I knew. I'm like, I don't know how these like 13-year-olds are editing everything within the app with their fingers. Like, no, I can't do that. So I was realizing
Big screen.
I was spending way too much time. These people had millions of followers. We're editing everything within the app. I'm like, this, I don't know. I don't get it. This just isn't for me. And then I was maid of honor in my best friend's wedding like not last summer, but the summer before. And I rapped my speech. I wrote a parody to her favorite song. And I posted on TikTok. I was like, you know what? I think this video will do well. And I posted on TikTok. I had like 200 followers. It went viral. It got like, it's at 4.7 million on TikTok, but I got posted by like Barstool and Lad Bible and like all these
That
other
is so funny.
media outlets. So
It was a really good rap.
We have to insert part of the video in here so the people
Yeah, we'll
can see.
insert a piece of
will.
if I
it.
do say so myself, it was some of my best work.
Maybe at the end of the episode, it'll just cut to the rap.
I'm okay with that.
But yeah, so I mean, I got 20,000 followers from that. And, you know, I was like, well, I have all these followers, but I text my group chat like, wait, guys, how do you like see your messages on TikTok? Like, I literally didn't even know how to use the app. I was like an old person. So now I try to like force myself to go on TikTok. Like everyone's always like, oh, I need to spend way less time on TikTok. And I'm like, I need to spend more time on TikTok because it's like, honestly, it's part of my job. I need to know what's trending and what's going on and what people are talking about. But like, I don't, and I really should.
What about you two? What are you guys on TikTok right now?
I'm Gibby. That's literally my entire For You page.
Honestly, this is really sad. I've been getting served Peanut the Squirrel videos.
No, yeah, I skipped those. I
Yeah.
can't.
I
I
actually
cry.
know about that.
I saw like one headline and I said, nope, I don't feel like crying. And that's
No,
it.
I get them all the time. It's so sad.
And like the video of the owner, he like had posted a sad video, kind of like a nostalgic one of like, oh, we had so many good moments. And I was like,
Do you know the squirrel thing?
Yeah, I did
Okay,
hear about
okay.
that, but like 3 weeks later on Reels.
and also a raccoon, but I don't know. I never even asked why. I just skipped them now because I'm like, that's enough for me.
Yeah, no, I just skipped them.
It's very sad. Justice for Peanut and the raccoon.
yeah, for real.
Isn't it that like they ended up putting down the squirrel?
Yeah, because
Both
someone reported to like I guess like local government that they had like a squirrel, and I guess you have to have some sort of license to have a pet squirrel. Like, what the
That's
fuck?
evil.
And did they like euthanize it or something?
Yeah.
Because of that? Okay.
He was in a very nice and loving home, and then they took it from him and then killed him. It was horrible. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I was a vegetarian for 3
Water
years.
sign. That's your Cancer, honey. You're not a Virgo.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I have to be cold. I'm a Virgo. Yeah. We're close.
Tell her one more time about the euthanized squirrel.
Please, no.
I could make her cry with one sentence, but I'm not going to. I'll be nice to Alex today.
Thank you, Beyonce. Okay.
It's so funny because I've been out and about and I send them videos. I'm like, thank you, Beyonce.
I said thank you Beyonce out loud the other day and no one got it, and I was like, all right, well, guess you guys are not my target audience.
I continuously say Mormons report back out loud and nobody understands
the
what I mean.
The Mormons report back is like wild. I said it on one podcast and now I say it for everything.
Wait, I'm not sure I know that
Not
one.
even like Mormon related. Like just any question we're like, Mormons report back.
I don't know. I don't even remember. Oh, we were talking about Ballerina Farm, and I was like really passionate about how fucking shitty her husband is. And we were talking about like Mormon culture, and I was like, I don't know, Mormons report back.
And it's just
And
kind of
we
stuck.
clipped it for the podcast, and now it's stuck.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I've heard it. Did you guys make it up? Because I guess I heard
made
it when
it up,
I was,
yes.
okay, I heard it when I was listening to your podcast then.
Oh my god!
But it can be like pretty much like about anything. We're just like, Mormons report back.
Also, did any Mormons report back from last week if they can celebrate Halloween?
No, we still don't know if Mormons can celebrate.
I don't know if Mormons listen to our podcast, but they should because we need them to.
Actually,
Well,
the
they
girls
mention them
from
all the
the
time.
girls from
Yeah.
Mormon TikTok did dress up their family, so like I guess it's fine.
There's
But
our answer.
Those I think are like fake Mormons.
Fair.
I'm gonna be so
Mormons
honest.
report back.
No, I'm gonna start saying that.
Yes.
I'll be like, no,
please
it's a
do.
TikTok thing. Like you guys wouldn't know.
I said it out loud at a Dolphins game. I forgot what the context was, and I was like, Mormons report back. And the guy next to me was like, oh, are you Mormon? I was like, no, actually. It's a long story. Just he's like, okay. So anyway, we're gonna round out our episode with our usual ending of hit or miss. Have you watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
No, I've heard people talk
All
about
right,
it on
don't worry about it.
podcasts, but-
Okay, hit or miss. We're gonna start really general. Brickle, hit or miss for you?
Hit.
Hit. Why?
Just because it's like a part of my identity now. Like having run the Brickle Scoop and everything, I know that place like the back of my hand. I'm like, oh wow, that pebble wasn't on the sidewalk in Brickle yesterday. And we're like, what?
How about you two? Hit or miss?
Hit because my friends live there.
I'm gonna say miss because last time I went, parking was really annoying and it smelled like shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say miss. I feel like Brickle's kind of in its flop era. No offense, guys.
Yeah, it smelled like throw up the day after Halloween, like for like multiple blocks. So I don't know.
That's gross.
That's probably me. I'm not gonna lie.
Alex on your hangovers. See. Okay, hit or miss. Wicked, specifically Ariana Grande. Or we don't care.
No knowledge, not applicable.
Wicked is a hit. Ariana Grande is a miss.
I'm excited to see Wicked. I love The Wizard of Oz. So yay, hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hit. The book is incredible. I think Ariana's very talented. I think she's shitty as a person. So hit it. Yeah, hit on Wicked and Ariana's voice, miss on her personality and that ugly ass SpongeBob man that she's with.
He plays a goat. I'm pretty sure he's the goat character.
No way.
The switch up on TikTok has been crazy. Are you seeing people thirsting after this man now?
He's ugly though.
Yes, but
Yeah, but like everyone loves an ugly man. That's the problem. But like
Not me.
he also left
I
his
do.
wife and his newborn baby. Like
you see,
let's
that makes him
not forget
really,
that.
really ugly. This isn't about looks. He's like an ugly person. Do you know
How
this
you
whole drama?
how are you gonna be ugly and ugly?
Yeah,
Well,
he's
from
a big
inside and
struggle.
out. You don't know this whole drama, or do you?
No, I mean, I listen to The Toast a lot and they talk about so much pop culture stuff. And I just like listening to them because it's entertaining, but it goes.
So the thing is that Ariana, when she was married to this guy named Dalton Gomez, she started Wicked, and then she started having an affair with Ethan Slater, who was also married and just had a newborn. They both divorced their respective partners, and then they ended up together. And it's just like everyone's like, what? And then when she came out with Yes and her song, at one point in the song, she's like, why do you care whose dick I ride? And everyone's like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? Like
He has a child.
a newborn, not even like.
And like I'm pretty sure his wife like found out about everything like through the media. Like
Yeah.
she didn't even find out from him. Like it was just like one day, boom, him holding hands with Ariana Grande, and she was like,
And I think they were like high school or like college sweethearts. Like they had been together for a really long time.
Yeah, well, because who would want to date him when he was fucking flopping around stage as SpongeBob on Broadway? That video like lives rent free in my mind. Like he looks so scary. in it.
I don't know. But then there's like been footage of him doing promo, and everyone's like, I get it now. And I'm like, no, I don't. That man had a wife and a newborn, and that's. I just think insecure women go after taken men, and vice versa. So that's just my opinion.
Not to get deep.
Yeah. Anyway, hit or miss the Alex Earl light.
See, I just don't get why people call it the Alex Earl light. Like, no shade on Alex Earl, but like, it's not her light. It's just a light. But
It's a miss for me. I hate that light.
Yeah, that light.
It's
sucks.
physically
the battery
awful.
lasts like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I don't know.
you've had
I don't have
experience
that
using it.
specific light. I guess it's that like rectangle one, right? Yeah, I don't have that specific one, so I can't speak from experience.
that
but
good.
I just don't like when people like call it that because it's like it's just a light.
Have you met her?
I'm sure we've crossed paths. I think at like a pregame before. I was friends with her boyfriend in college, but
Braxton is so nice.
yeah, he's really nice.
I say that as if I know him personally.
He was my partner for an accounting project.
I was gonna say,
so-
like, I had him in a class or two, and I think everyone just always said he was very nice on campus.
yeah, he's super
Yeah.
nice. He was valedictorian too, so he's like very
Wow.
smart. Yeah.
And like his whole family, like they're all adorable as hell. Like whenever he would have a game, like the whole family from North Carolina would come out, and you would see them. Like you would know exactly who they are. They're like
Yeah,
30
like his
people.
persona on social media like isn't fake. Like he's actually that nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him. It's like he made it. Congrats.
Yeah, I was gonna say congrats to him because a lot of people pretend to be nice on camera and then end up being assholes. So it's very good that he's like authentic.
Yeah, no, sweet angel. And then very, very last bit, because we have to include them. Hit or miss, pura vida.
Y'all already know my answer.
I mean, it's just not worth the money. Like I'll go there if my friend really wants to go there and, you know, it's wherever we are and we're hungry, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go there.
Fair.
I get that.
Yeah, I think it's way overpriced
Yeah.
for what it is.
You guys already know how I feel. Don't even invite me to go there. please.
And the funny thing is that Pura Vida, if you're listening to this, hello, I guess, they stalk her TikTok all the time.
Oh yeah,
Really?
My profile views are on, honey. I could see you.
And it's like, I think if it's not every single day, it's like every other day. Lexi's like, look who's on my page today.
I mean, I do mention them like at least once a week, but like because my TikTok coffee series is called $8 iced coffees that are better than Pura Vida.
I mean, you might be giving them clout. You know, when people are like, oh my God, this is so disgusting, you need to try it. You know, it's like,
Well, like it was like literally bread because I was actually really excited to try it. And I was like, my friend was like in town. She doesn't live in Miami. She's like, let's go try it. And I was like, okay, fine. Like everyone raves about it. Like it must be good. I got an $8 iced coffee. I took 3 sips of it. It literally was like rancid. Like it was disgusting. And her coffee was like not just like her coffee was, I'm not gonna say not disgusting because I couldn't have drank it either. Like hers was better than mine, but it was still like not good. And I was just so angry that I like posted it on TikTok and like it kind of popped off. And I was like, oh, I mean, we're gonna start a series about this because I drink coffee anyway, so might as well.
I kind of want Pura Vida to invite you to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if they invited me, like, I would definitely go and I would try it again. But like, I am gonna give my honest opinion. Like, even if they invite me, like, I'm not gonna say it's good.
I mean,
Just
for
because
how
they
often,
invited me.
for how often that they stalk you, I think you deserve to be invited back.
Y'all heard?
And Gabby
They wanna
Guadra
win you
got
back.
invited after one negative review.
Yeah, but she's like an icon.
So
we'll
are
get there
you.
eventually. Mormons report back.
And with that, we'll end the episode. Thank you so much for tuning into the No One Cares podcast. The No One Cares podcast is sponsored by A to Z Social. Follow us on Instagram and on TikTok, ATOZ_social, because we are comedians. And thank you so much, Alicia, for joining us
thank you guys
today.
for having me. It was my first podcast. It was so much fun.
Yay! See you guys next week. Bye.